Hey, what's cooking, Jay?
Hello everyone! Today we're making an Austrian Easter cake. A Gugelhupf, but a little bit different, a little bit up to date. What you need for the ingredients are 4 eggs separated. You need 250 gram sugar, 100 icing and 150 normal sugar. You need 100 milliliters oil and 100 milliliter water. And then we're going to use some pistachio paste, some biscoff paste. We're using 250 gram flour, and we're using a teaspoon of baking powder. And then you need a Gugelhupf form or a bundt cake form or a ring cake form. You just put it in there. We're going to ice it all at the end, and that will be delicious. First, we're using the 4 egg yolks and the icing sugar. Put that all into the mixing bowl. We put a splash of vanilla, about 2 grams, in there. And we let it run until it gets nice and fluffy. Okay, as you see, the color of the egg and egg yolk and the sugar is changing. It's going to be getting a bit more light, and then we'll take it out. Okay, so the egg yolks have whipped up enough. Let's take it out. It's nice and fluffy. It changes into a sort of a slightly beigey sort of pink, I would say. Now we separate that in 2 bowls. And the important part now is we have to clean this bowl out really well. There can't be any leftover egg yolk or anything in it, otherwise the egg white will not whip up. This is beautifully clean, as you can see, not a spot in it. And now we're whipping up our egg whites. So what we do is we put our 4 egg whites in there, and we put a pinch of salt in there, and we let it whip up. And then gradually we add the sugar, so it's all nice and stiff, but we don't want to over whip it. All right, let's put it on. The egg white is whipping up. Now we gradually add our sugar. Now we just let it whip for a minute or 2, and then we'll take it out. Okay, so the egg white is done. It's still nice and smooth and shiny. It's not breaking up or anything, so it's just perfect. Oops. Here you go. And now it's time to put our cake together. So what we do is we have 2 different ones, one with the pistachios and one with the biscoff. So we start with the biscoff. So we put everything in there, which is the oil, the water and the biscoff paste, and the precise measurements are in the description. And then we just make it all smooth into a paste, and that's all we need to do. Look at that, beautiful. And then we do the other one. We use our pistachios paste, the same. Pistachio paste, water and oil, all in there. Use a whisk, small whisk, and we are blending it all up. The difference to this one now is we add a 1/2 cup of finely chopped pistachios to give it a bit of texture. In the meantime, we have buttered and we have floured our tin. And here is our flour. Now we're adding a teaspoon of baking powder to each. Well, just a flat teaspoon, yeah? Not too much. Okay, then we're using our rubber spatula, and we're adding a little bit of equal amounts of whipped egg whites into both mixes. And we just, at the beginning, you can just stir it in. Afterwards, we're just going to fold it under. Okay? So there is one, and there is the next one. It smells, especially the biscoff one, just smells like biscuits. It's delicious. All right, so now we're dividing up the rest. One, and that's it. Now we're going to start folding in. Make sure you mix your baking powder through before you put it in. You don't want lumps of baking powder everywhere. So now we just do, let's say, a third of the flour, and we fold it in. And then again, another third of the flour until it's all folded in. The more air you keep in and the more gentle you are in folding it in, the lighter your cake's gonna be. And this is perfect for you to give to the kids at Easter. They will love that. Okay, now we do the pistachio one exactly the same way. I find making this cake with the oil, it stays much moister when it's cold. Because the butter normally goes a bit firm when it's cold, but with the making it with oil, it's beautiful. As you can see, the mixes are nice, smooth, evenly mixed, just beautiful. So that's the biscoff one, and this is the pistachio one. Now let's put it into the tin. Just make sure there's not too much excess flour in there. I prefer to use my card, and we just go and put it in like that. Ideally in. You see the first layer is done. So now we put the pistachio on top. Okay, so now I'll show you a little trick. What you do is you use the end of a spoon or a fork, and you just go like this. That will give you a little marble design inside the cake. And you can do that as much or as less as you want. You don't have to do it, but it's just a little bit different. That's what you see when you go to the pastry shops, and that's what they do. All right, now let's put it in the oven. We put it in the oven on, I put it on 160, 170 for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, so 45 minutes and the cake is ready. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. So now we just let it sit here for a couple of minutes, and then we turn it out and we let it sit there with the lid on. So now our cake has been sitting here for like half an hour. Now let's see, let's hope it comes out of the tin. Beautiful. That's what happens when you grease it and flour it well. Now we put it onto our nice tray. And we're gonna make our icing. So I've got 100 grams of icing sugar, and we just add some lemon juice. I've got a half a lemon. We start with half a lemon. So basically you want it to get really thick, runny, not runny, just really thick. Because if it's too runny, it will not set. We need a little bit more lemon juice, but only a little, not a half a lemon. Yep, and that's it. Look at that, perfect consistency. It's not too runny, but it's also not too firm. And that, when this has cooled down, we put on top, and then we garnish it with our Easter egg. So now the cake has still a tiny bit warm, but it has cooled down enough for us to put some of the icing on. So what we do is we just go like this. And we just let it run down. This is exactly the way we like it. So now, what we're gonna do, we garnish it for Easter. So, I bought those M&M chocolate Easter eggs because my son is allergic to peanuts. Please, if your children are allergic to peanuts, There's two different ones. Make sure you don't get the ones with peanuts. Check it out, my beautiful Easter Gugelhupf.